Hey y'all, it's your girl Coach Kinsley.
And Kerre.
And producer Mike here to tag along.
And today we're going to be doing a client story.
Yeehaw!
They didn't see that coming.
Welcome to 15-Minute Fitness Fix with Coach Kinsley. I'm producer Mike, senior editor for the podcast, and a former client of Coach Kinsley's who benefited from every rep until I heard
3, 2, 1, let's go!
Remember to always consult your physician before starting any nutrition or fitness regimen.
Usually the way we do these things is we like to paint a picture of what our life was like prior to getting into fitness in the first time. Sometimes their first journey into fitness is with Coach. Other times they started on their own like I did. And then when I felt I had enough habits built up, then that's when I sought further instruction. Paint a little picture of where you were at to start.
Playing soccer. I've always been in the sports department. And then when I got into college, it was let's learn how to lift weights. Let's learn how to run some more distances than I was doing just sprinting. From college into my married life, we're going to keep up exercising because it made me feel great. The mental health that came with it. My fitness was just by myself with the weights or the machines, figuring out what can I do, like very minimal knowledge.
How did you approach just your own fitness journey by yourself?
Learning weightlifting in a gym. I'm not much of a runner. Even though I grew up playing soccer, that wasn't my pursuit when I got out of soccer, wasn't running. I like lifting weights. I knew that I had an affinity for it with the way that it just felt good and how I actually saw progress in my body. My body was transforming. As I tell you this, that motivation had to be there. It was seasons of motivation and then seasons of not being motivated. Children coming along and, just dealing with all the different changes in life.
Okay, Kerre, when you had kids, you talked about children. How did your routine change and how was your focus on fitness? Was it before you were starting with group fitness? Was it after group fitness? How did that major event play into your journey?
I stayed active even while I was pregnant. And after having 4 children, it changes your schedule. It changes even where you thought maybe you were going in life. And finding that time to devote to yourself. And as a mom, you struggle with giving yourself time and feeling the guilt of giving yourself that time. I would do a lot of walking, but the gym life wasn't there because I didn't feel like I could go too far away from the house or for too long, especially. Only when I had that opportunity, early in the morning before my husband went to work. So I tried to stay in the realm of walking. So I would say, again, I had this on and off relationship with the gym or with fitness. This is a really big part of the journey is that I found myself really struggling mentally and emotionally because I had given 14 years of my life to children. I lost myself in my mothering. Part of that was my fitness journey because it has been a big part of my life. Not having that opportunity to take the time as much as I, would have liked to do. And so I really began to lose myself. Again, I don't know. I didn't get it, classified as a mental illness or anything, but I was struggling really bad. And I nearly almost lost my mind. That's when I was like, okay, I need to change something. Something needs to change if I'm at this low of a breaking point. And this was last year before I joined the group fitness. And I've got to change what I'm doing because I'm just going downhill from here. And that's when I knew I need to reach out to the group, like I was saying, group fitness, to bring in that community aspect where doing it by myself wasn't bringing me the joy and the delight or the motivation. And so I needed to pursue that. It helped. My mental health just changed almost overnight, just like a week of being consistent and going. It was just like, wow, it feels really good to give myself this time again and do something for me. Was just for that mental health reason to really find myself again. Then it went from there. Okay, find yourself again. Okay, now what can you do? And
so yeah, the mental health aspect is really super critically important. And if you want to hear a little bit more about parental journeys, listen to episode 16, the Mother's Day special. The change in mental health was the same thing I went through. I had lost a friend to not watching health issues like that should have been pursued. And I was in the same boat, and that's where I was headed to. And so the easiest thing for me to do was start walking. And I got up 5 o'clock in the morning and just walked and walked and walked and walked. I did that for an entire summer, every day, rain or shine. Well, there's no shining at 5 o'clock in the morning. But yeah, and then I'd walk by this local gym. And then I thought, I can do this. I've always wanted to really put forth the effort into resistance training, and that mindset change, first by building the habit and then taking that habit and seeing what else can you do with it. That's a mindset that I agree with, that when you're on a fitness journey, that's kind of foundational to really putting your time. As we get older, our time becomes more valuable, and because we give it to so many other things. And so I totally get that point too, Kerre. So I appreciate you bringing that up. So you're thinking, okay, it's group fitness time. There's a group fitness center that happens to be within your realm of view. And who's working at this fitness center?
It's me, your girl, Coach Kinsley.
Coach, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Good to be back.
And thanks for having a show too, so that we could do this. So yeah, talk a little bit about when Kerre walked into your studio, and you guys take it from there.
Was a morning session, 8 a.m., the ideal time. You were already fit. You clearly had experience weightlifting. I remember you being really open to me pushing you too, which I think has been the most fun part about our training relationship, is how open you are to that next level. You got in there and the mental health was coming back, but then there was a point where you were like, what's the limit? And you don't know your limits until you test them. I really do feel like the biggest thing you struggled with in the beginning was nutrition. Contrary to a lot of people's thinking, you weren't eating enough, which is why you weren't seeing results. And a lot of people assume they're always eating too much. So I was really grateful that you were open to the nutritional advice. I can write you the most detailed plan in the world, but if you don't do it, it doesn't mean anything. So we got you eating more, especially protein. With that extra push there, we've been really successful. Muscle mass has increased tremendously. You didn't have that much fat to lose, but you've lost it all. What body fat percent are you rocking right now?
I'm hovering around 20% and hoping that body scan will show less soon.
Oh, let's
Trying.
go. That is awesome. That is well into the health zone, right? So there's no underlying issues we're really fighting against anymore. What we're really doing is just seeing where the max push is. It's like you're lifting much heavier than before. And we went through a little season where you were dealing with like major imbalances where it started to affect your lifts. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
With the imbalances, I found myself with, it wasn't necessarily like an injury, but just like a huge knot in the back of my knee that was preventing the mobility to even do squats or things like that. And so I would say that that came from the imbalances of, the lack of muscle built in the left side of my body and the overcompensation in the right side of the body. And so that was eye-opening to see, how important these balances are, how important stretching is, just making sure that things are keeping smooth.
And that's another benefit of having like another set of eyes there. I called you out on this major imbalance, or like the point that I knew it was major was when you were squatting and your hips were way off. And that's where I came over, and I rarely ever tell you to weight down. Right. I almost always drag heavier weights to you, but this time I told you to completely re-rack it and gave you a foam roller.
Yes. It wasn't actually that long ago, but that was like a good journey to go through of learning of how important it is to work on those imbalances and how important it is to stretch, roll out, whatever you need to do to keep your body mobile. Because in this journey of fitness and weightlifting, and we want to go for the long run, right? This isn't just a sprint. This is the long run. And in order to keep all things fluid, we want to make sure that we're addressing those things. Just like with nutrition. Meeting Kinsley to be my coach, she helped pull out the better part of me in the gym. Okay, I can do this, I can try this. And just that motivation and being more determined, and the affirmation she brings just really spurs that desire to keep going and keep challenging. I think the biggest thing is the consistency. I feel like I have a real friend. I can come to the gym and be real with. It's not just about looking good. This is about health for the long run, because you really do shine in that area for me. This is one area that I got a gal that's got my back in. For me, that's what you've done. So, yeah.
I'm so glad. I do feel like I found a real friend in you too. And I think that a lot of people in the community that we have that same experience. And that really does make a huge difference. And I do have your back emotionally, nutritionally, but also physically. I'd be there spotting you the same way that I would tell you to weight up. I would also tell you to weight down. Like, it really is about longevity and being able to hopefully do this your whole life. My goal is to live to 120, and I would love for all of my people to make it there with me. And that's going to take not just cardio, but it's going to take the weightlifting. That skeletal muscle mass, that deep tissue, that's what's going to have more to do with our bone density. And bone density will take you the long run, but so will mobility. So really training the whole entire person is really important. And I'm glad that that's what you're getting. And that's what you're open to, because I could only do so much, but you're the one who shows up. You're the one who picks up the weights, and you're the one who eats the food. And I'm so glad to be there next to you during the whole journey.
I needed somebody like you who's going to have my back, and I'm glad. I've told you this before, but I asked, God, like, which location of gym, what area? And he told me, I think it's directly because of you. Absolutely. Because he knew what I needed, and you absolutely are doing everything that I needed to help push me into that. So.
And he knew what I needed, because Kerre is one of my support trainers now. And it's been so fabulous going from strangers to that client relationship, then I would definitely say friends, and now working together. And now the same way that I've been able to support you, you're able to do as well. Okay, well, we are about 6 months into you working out with me. Almost 7. Happy anniversary. Yes, to us working out. You mentioned that you had joined initially because of mental health. What are the changes you've seen there?
It's been a true restoration of finding myself, because I lost myself. Yes, it's 50 minutes in the gym, but it's more than that, way more than that. It's getting the feeling of I gave myself something. My home life, I'm like glad to be home again. I don't know how to describe that other than when you just lose yourself so much and you finding low joy where you're at, that when you find something that's bringing you joy and fulfilling you, like it affects every other aspect of your life. Where I was like coming to the end of myself, breaking in my motherhood, I just found myself, okay, I've been going consistently and I'm staying with it and I'm feeling good. I'm getting my diet change, which helps. I just wasn't eating the right things to give me energy. And so as I was pursuing what gives me energy, and the weightlifting and the sweating, which is so good for me, like I was able to go home and be kinder, more patient, and glad to be at home, like glad to be with my kids instead of, having to wake up another day and deal with refereeing and all the things that come with mothering, and just being like so refreshed. I'll just be honest with you. For 7 months, I've been coming 4 to 5 days a week because it feels so good, number one. Again, it's so great to be with people who want to be there, like are glad to be there. Yeah, we might be like, oh, this sucks through a workout, but we are actually all glad to be there, and we like seeing each other, and we like to motivate each other. And just something about that community aspect really just does it for the rest of your day. But for me, it's just I go home and I can experience life in a fresher way because of it.
At first, I think a lot of moms get lost in motherhood. It is unfortunately a very common story. Also, so many people find that relief in the gym because the negative energy has somewhere to go. It's going to the weights. But then furthermore, you see how capable you are. Like it's really a confidence booster. Hey, I'm repping out half my body weight here. Or like, I don't know anyone who can jump off the floor faster than I can. Yes. Or I'm going to keep up with my kids forever. Like, they're not going to be able to outrun me until they're in their teen years.
That's it right there. Because so what happened is when I got back in the gym and I'm doing these things, it's like, I'm pretty good at this. Or that it's not just about giving out, all your energy to everything else. Here I am. I have a certain thing in my body unique to me, and I'm going to work it and I can do it. It's not me giving my body away. It's me building my body for me.
And you find so many things to celebrate at the gym too. We celebrate how many times you worked out, but also personal records. I weighted up in my chest press today, or like rolling get-ups. It's a party when someone went from not being able to do it to able to do it. It takes one time. Suddenly they're standing up. That's joy.
It is joy. Accomplishments that we got here, we did the hard work, and we're seeing results. And it's such a reward to see.
All your victories are not on the scale. That is a tiny little puzzle piece of victory. I say non-scale victories. How's your clothes fitting? What are you lifting? What's your range look like? You know, after you going through your knee imbalance, your victory was being able to squat again.
I had more mobility after going through that. Like I was able to squat with a deeper range.
Because we were intentional.
Because I was intentional. I was like learning as I was going, like as I put to practice what I needed to do to get that knot removed from my knee, I was then able to go deeper in range. And I've stuck with the things that I've been doing that helped me with that. So
yes, another victory. All right. Well, thank you so much, Kerre, for coming and talking with us, telling us about your journey. Hit the highlights for us.
The highlights. When you lose yourself, you can find yourself. Part of that journey is finding a community who will help you, wants to help you, is glad to help you, it brings them joy to help you. That's where you're going to find joy. That's where you're going to, in your journey, help find out who you really are, especially when you've lost yourself. It takes others to help pull that back out on who you are. Work on those imbalances. It's important. Do those stretchings. It's important. Stay consistent to these things. You want to go for the long run. You want to go for longevity here. Health isn't just in one short season. Health is the rest of your life. And so as you do that, you want to make sure that you're doing what it takes to continue your exercise journey all the way through. Take care of your nutrition. Take care of your mobility. Take care of your imbalances. Make everything a part of the holistic approach of exercise, and you're going to succeed in the long run. One thing I like to say to my children and to me and to anybody who will listen is I say, we don't say we can't. We say we can try. So when Kinsley's like, hey, I want you to try this weight, I'm like, okay, I can try. I don't say I can't. Sometimes I maybe have caught myself, or maybe she's even like caught me, but I go back to, we can try. I'm always looking to challenge. I can try. Once I've done that, then what's the next thing I can try? Where can I go? What is my limit? Can I go from being a client to helping others do this? Because I have such a passion to do it myself. Can I help others? I challenged myself to become a trainer.
Yes, and yes, you can. Check us out next week on Trainer to Trainer. Thank you so much for joining us today on 15-Minute Fitness Fix with Coach Kinsley. The fun doesn't need to stop here. Email me at coach@coachkinsley.com. You can check out my webpage, coachkinsley.com, and also find me on Instagram at, you guessed it, Coach Kinsley. Your girl. See you next week. Boom.